And away we go. It is the nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, brought to you by our friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get your delivery, get your pickup, stop in to the location, the brick and mortar, as they call it, down in Dayton, and get you some delicious fried chicken, chicken tenders, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, fried pickles, deviled eggs, all kinds of good stuff at Galactic.
Secret menu sandwich.
Secret menu sandwich. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's secret. Number 2 sandwich in the city, but you gotta be part of the club.
If you know, you know.
Right, and because of us, you know. And also, 513shirts.com.
No shit.
Okay, go check out the new BCJ collection. Can you pull up my tweet with just the picture of the 3 new clothing items?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
I'll give you one. There's one.
Just one.
Do 513. We're sharing today. I hope Shane doesn't mind because I'm excited about this. Mike Galati from 513 Shirts has been working with us over the past couple days. We've been going through a couple designs, going through a couple options. I think we hit the sweet spot today. So 513shirts.com, drop down on partners. It'll say Bearcat Journal. And then you can pull up the Bearcat Journal collection. There's a new water bottle. There's koozies. Who doesn't love a good koozie, right? And then these. Little quarter zip. Couple polos. All with my favorite logo has become the circle. The bee paw, I think, as somebody called it.
The Bearcat Journal Circle of Trust.
Yeah, with the Bearcat Journal circle around it. So I'm really excited about these. They'll be in here in a couple weeks. It was kind of all came together pretty fast when we hit on these and decided to run with them. They are now up for pre-sale, and they should be ready to ship out by the middle of the month. So make sure you get those as well.
I guess I should.
Maybe you could get those while you could get these and then wear them to Galactic Fried Chicken. And then, would you even have to say pump it up if you have Bearcat Journal gear on?
I don't think you have to.
Like, we're going to have to work with Shane on that. If you wear, like, the authentic Bearcat Journal gear with the logo, I don't think you should have to say pump it up. I'm just saying. All right, let's get to it. We are starting to see more and more and more and more of these mock drafts and these opinions that Desmond Ridder is moving up. The latest today, Matt Miller. He's an NFL draft analyst for ESPN. Based on what I'm hearing, I would not be surprised if Desmond Ridder is a top 20 pick. We know Sauce Gardner is roughly going to be a top 10 pick. Cincinnati has not had a first-round draft pick like 50 years. 50 years. And we are starting to trend towards them having 2 in this draft. We are getting to a point, Aaron, where I think we have talked about this since the end of the season, right? And I'll get to something Todd McShay said here after I make this point. What did we say? Once it gets to the actual NFL part of the process, right? Desmond Ridder is going to blow people away. His personality, his leadership, his intelligence, the way, like, who he is as a teammate, all those things we knew were going to be an impact as this draft process played out. Mm-hmm. Now we're starting to see it.
So just yesterday, the Saints and the Eagles had a very large trade dealing with 8 different
draft picks.
Draft picks, yes. And the Saints end up with the 16 and the number 19 picks overall. I'm just saying,
that the Saints are definitely a name that has been mentioned with Dez on multiple occasions.
They're certainly in
Saints,
the mix with
Steelers, Seahawks, Falcons.
two top 20 picks, though. I mean, you can
Yeah.
kind of do what you want to do. Although the Eagles also, I mean, I don't know how much they love Jalen Hurts. They're still sitting there at 18.
Yeah.
There's a lot of play for a draft that's not very big on quarterbacks, supposedly.
Well, here's the thing, and this is McShay said this today, and this is what I kind of wanted to get into with this today. He hasn't been overly high on Desmond Ridder, right? He's been second round guy, not worthy of a first round pick, and then it was starting to come around. Now it's maybe he's a guy that somebody trades into the back of the first round for, so that they get the extra year,
right?
Because if you're a first round pick, there's a 5th year option.
Well, it's just like what the Ravens did
contract with
just
Lamar.
Like what the Ravens did with Lamar.
But what did he tag it with? I've been talking to NFL teams. I've been talking to NFL executives. This is what we told you guys was going to happen. Des Ridder was going to wow people in this portion of the process leading up to the draft. And guess what? He crushed it at the Senior Bowl, crushed it at the Combine, and now he's winning the 3rd round of stuff. Because it's been talked about ad nauseum. This is a quarterback class that there's not a lot of separation. There's not a lot of difference in a lot of these guys, right? Like, everybody's got flaws. Nobody is, perfect, top of the echelon, number 1 overall draft pick type quarterback. So then what do? They start picking and seeing how many things you can find. What are the negatives on Desmond Ridder? He's a little inaccurate in the intermediate range, right?
That's fair.
And the other negatives are,
I mean, I feel like some people tried to say that he was a dad was a negative at some point.
Oh, come on. I'm talking about people that matter. I'm not talking about people posting in the transfer portal thread.
That's just stupid too. Like, come on now.
Those people post in the transfer portal thread. Those people are going to get so mad at me eventually. Yeah. Oh, well. It's content. Jokes are funny. That's right. And none of you are close enough to smack me. So they see me all the time in public, though. Somebody's going to smack the shit out of me one of these days. Maybe. I don't think it's a baby. Especially now, now it's popular. That's what people do. They smack the shit out of you. And Ahmad Gardner crushing it. He's a projected top 10 pick and moving up. That's pretty wild.
I've seen him as high as 4.
Yeah, I've seen him as high as 2. Mike Tannenbaum had him at 2.
I'm with Dave.
Say Tannenbaum.
I'm with Dave on Mike
Tannenbaum,
course, though.
But look, I'm not saying I trust him. I'm saying he's got a microphone and he had him at 2.
Okay.
Is that
right.
Is that right or wrong?
Right. You're right.
I'm not saying it like I believe he's the be all end all. I am aware of his history as a GM in the NFL. I'm saying he is a voice in the draft process, and he has him at 2.
Touche.
I see what you did there. Imagine Sauce goes 2 and Dez goes like 8. Like that's the next step, though, right? Like tomorrow. This is a little insider tip here, right? I'm told tomorrow, Dez and Sauce are both going to be on Good Morning Football on NFL Network.
Ooh.
This is the type of stuff. And what's going to happen from that? They're gonna get questions. Those questions are going to get chopped up. Those chopped up questions are going to
be on the interweb,
be on the internet. They're going to be on Twitter. People are going to be talking about it.
The Bluebird,
the tweet. Like, so what is happening? Not only because the perception of the university, the perception of the program is ever evolving because it is still, even though it's a program that's been around for a long time, as a high level player, the perception and the outside view of what Cincinnati football is all about is still evolving, right? It's still in the toddler phase, probably.
I think that's about right.
If you compare it to where everybody else, like at the top of the sport, is at, 08, 09 was really like the birth of Cincinnati football, or 06 to 09, something like that. So they're still, at least at the worst, in the preteen phase. And we're going to get a month now.
The preteen phase might be the least fun phase, right?
Actually, mine's getting better as she gets a little older. I think she went through her hellion years a little early, which is understandable for being my kid. But anyway, you get Sauce, and once people really start to get to know Sauce, they're going to be more like Dez. We know Dez, right? Dez has been in front of a mic for 4 years.
Correct.
Sauce never really craved the mic. He never really craved like you would think a cornerback would.
Either that or Kaz never let him.
No. I mean, if they wanted to push the issue, Sauce was always good, like in interview settings. Like it was never a major concern there. And he did plenty, but even when he does them, he's kind of shot. Like he's not overly flamboyant. Like he's not saying crazy shit. Like
even when he tweeted that out, like
no, he believes that shit.
I won't say that's out of character for him, but I feel like I was caught a little off guard because he doesn't generally come out and just brag. He usually leaves it to the on the field stuff. But
I don't think he was bragging. I think he was saying that with his chest.
It's
right?
hashtag draft season, right?
Right. No, I don't think that was bragging. I think that was like, I'm saying this shit with my chest. Like, I'm the best player in this draft. Name somebody in this draft that has had a more accomplished individual career than Sauce.
I mean, you could have people make an argument for linemen, offensive linemen, or Aiden Hutchinson, or
sure.
But again, they're arguments. You could also argue on Sauce's behalf.
Right. So it's just such we're now going to get, because of this, because the talk on Dez is changing from he's the third or fourth best quarterback to now the NFL information is getting out and executives are telling these talking heads, this dude's impressive, man. So now he's moving up. We're going to get a lot of Dez talk between now and the draft. We're going to get a lot of Sauce talk between now and the draft. And as big a commercial as the lead up was to the college football playoff for fans, for future Bearcats, seeing this, where they're going to be talking about, because look, what's the interesting thing to talk about? Quarterback and a guy who goes by Sauce and wears a Sauce diamond encrusted chain.
I'd also make the argument that it's interesting to talk about a school that simply hasn't been there before.
Right, sure. That's why Cincinnati got so much talk in the lead up to the playoff. So all of this, and Dave and I have talked about this before, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a bunch more. I think we're going to try to go tomorrow night, as long as I hopefully can get my wife out of the fucking hospital. I don't use the F-bomb much on this show, but I'm frustrated with that process. Yeah, frustrated. This is all part of utilizing and capitalizing and growing from that potentially once in a lifetime season. And hopefully it's not once in a lifetime, but like, I don't think that they didn't, because BK left and because the cupboard wasn't really stocked when BK left, that momentum for 08 and 09 never carried on, right? It never never took that next step.
I feel like this is
Butch
all
left, and then Tommy tanked everything, and it had to be rebuilt.
I feel like this is all part of the process of becoming a top 10 program as well.
Sure.
I mean, Luke
That's what he meant.
He continues to put out the manifest of we want and aspire to be a top 10 program, and this should become a regular thing as opposed to the anomaly.
This is what happens to top 10 programs.
Yes.
They have their great years, and they have players that are being talked about as elite prospects in the draft. And then a bunch of guys behind them that are being talked about as second round and third round and fourth round picks. And we're there. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You asked somebody 25 years ago.
25, 10.
But I'm just saying in general, like you asked 20 years ago, you tell somebody, 2002, when Steve Logan and those guys are one of the best basketball teams in the country, number one ranked, number one seed, and you would have told them, 20 years from now, the Bearcats are going to play in a Final Four in college football. And there's going to be a top 10 draft pick and potentially a top 20 draft pick and potentially 6 or 7 other draft picks. And the Bearcats are going to be in a period of rebuilding. Somebody would have told you, get out. Get them out.
That's because there wasn't even a 14 playoff at that point in time. So that would have been just wild to even consider. But aside from that, I mean, you can go back to Luke's first season when he's 4-8 and trying to figure it out. And you catch the same people who would still tell you that you're insane.
Right. And here we are. And we're about to have a real fun April watching those guys get their shine as potential stars of this draft.
The best part about it, though, Chad, is the fact that you still have the highest rated recruiting classes coming through right now.
Yeah. The best may potentially be yet to come.
Yes, sir.
All right. I was gonna get to Bob Bowlesby retiring today, but we got other fish to fry. Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. It's a nightcap brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!